the first father-son duo to ever play together on an NBA team.
So much of enjoying candy kind of has to do with the circumstances behind it.
We are serious about Halloween over here, obviously, but we want your help finalizing our costume choices.
I'm here in our Halloween store, First Stop Ghouls, and we've got a lot of options here. It's a little bit overwhelming. Let's go through some of them. We've got Wolverine from the very popular Deadpool Wolverine film. There's an inflatable Garfield right here. Look at this little guy. He's a penguin, absolutely adorable. For you, perhaps might I recommend Joy from Inside Out 2. Looks like there's a squirrel, maybe a Disney princess. A lot to choose from. Back to you, Kelsey.
Well, thank you, Larry. It looks like you're having a phenomenal time in the store. But we need you guys to leave us a comment below with what you think we should be. And come back on Halloween next week to see if your selection wins.
The World Series starts tomorrow night, and it's the East Coast versus the West Coast with the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the New York Yankees. So our question of the day is about an iconic moment in World Series history. Legendary Yankee Babe Ruth is famous for calling his shot when he pointed to the outfield, kind of like this, right before cracking off a home run during the World Series. But when was this? Did he call his shot in 1932, 1937, or 1941? Comment a year below and we'll tell you if you're right later on, and why people are talking about that home run again.
This election day is more than just about the presidency. There are some major races going on for the Senate and the House. There's been a lot of focus on if Congress will flip once election day arrives, meaning the political party in control could switch. Republicans running could help win the majority in the Senate, which is currently mostly Democratic. The Democrats, on the other hand, could grab a hold of the House, which is a majority Republican. This is important because the nation also votes in a new president. Closely divided chambers might lead to disagreements on policies, which can make it harder to work together to get things done. We'll keep an eye on what all of this means come November, so make sure you're subscribed. But let's back it up for a second. What's the difference between the House and the Senate, and what exactly do they do? Congress formed in 1789. The House was formed to directly reflect American voters. So, the members of the House only serve for 2 years at a time before they're up for re-election, which means the American people are able to vote for them pretty frequently. And there's opportunity to bring in new ideas. And the number of members for each state depends on the population of the state. A small state, like Connecticut, has 5 representatives. A big state like Texas gets 38. The Senate is structured a little differently. Each state has 2 senators, no matter what size, and they serve for 6 years. So they have a little more time in Congress to make a name for themselves or pass laws. Speaking of passing laws, all bills start in Congress. A bill is a proposal for a new law or change to an existing law. But for a bill to become a law, it has to go through both sides of Congress. If it's drafted in the House and they vote to pass it, then it has to also be passed in the Senate, and vice versa. Then it goes to the president's desk, where it's signed into a law. Both the House and the Senate also have their own leaders. The House of Representatives elects a Speaker of the House, who is from the party with the majority of members at the time. The leader of the Senate is someone you don't hear about that often, called the President pro tempore. If something ever happened to the president and the vice president couldn't take over, the Speaker of the House is next in line, and the President pro tempore after that. Anyone old enough to vote for president can also vote for senators, representatives, and more. Check out our channel for when and how you can pre-register to vote.
James season is upon us, and by that we mean King James and basketball. The NBA officially tipped off this week and lasts until the championships in June. The hottest game of the week was the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the LA Lakers, and it had nothing to do with the score. It's because LeBron James and his son Bronny made history. They're the first father-son duo to ever play together on an NBA team. LeBron is 39 and has been playing in the league for 22 seasons, dominating most of them. He's won 4 NBA championships, plus 3 Olympic gold medals. And Bronny, who just turned 20, played at USC and was drafted by the Lakers earlier this year. Besides the age difference, the two are actually pretty easy to tell apart on the court. Bronny's jersey says James Jr. on the back.
Yay. There you go. That was good. The World Series starts tomorrow, and it's going to be an epic showdown between last year's home run king, Aaron Judge and the Yankees, and this year's big hitter, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Fun fact, this is the 12th World Series meeting between the teams, more than any other team in history, and goes all the way back to 1941, before the Dodgers moved to LA and were Brooklyn's home team. The Yankees have won 8 of those matchups, to the Dodgers 3. And last time they faced off in the series was 43 years ago.
But do you remember our question of the day? What World Series did Babe Ruth call his shot before hitting a homer? Was it in 1932, 1937, or 1941? It was 1932. It was the great Bambino's last World Series. The Yankees would go on to sweep the Chicago Cubs. And earlier this year, the Sultan of Swat's jersey, yeah, it's another one of his nicknames, he's got a lot. The jersey he wore on the day he called that shot was on the auction block. The final bid went for $24.12 million after a 6-hour bidding war in Dallas. It's candy season, and we've been talking to Daniel Zafran from Candy is Dandy, the candy review podcast where he and a couple friends taste candy after candy after candy. And he's got some thoughts on top Halloween picks.
There's nothing better than getting one of those individually sized, wrapped Reese's peanut butter cups on Halloween. And then second, I think, is peanut M&Ms. I think that the worst Halloween candy you can get is Twizzlers. I hate Twizzlers 365 days a year. I also don't like red vines. I just don't really like licorice.
I know people love these, and I won't deny that. What I will deny is that I like them.
My name is Daniel Zafran, and I am one of the 3 hosts of Candy is Dandy, the candy review podcast, which, as far as we can tell, is the world's only podcast that reviews only candy. This is the interrupter of this whole episode, Phantom the cat staring directly at you.
I got a huge chunk. Oh, this would be really good with a Coke.
We've learned that so much of enjoying candy kind of has to do with the circumstances behind it. Like something tastes really good when you're in a movie theater and you're not really thinking about it. But when you're sitting there thinking about it, you really start to realize, like, do I like this? I brought in Butterfingers, which I walked into the room saying, like, guys, this is my favorite candy and you're all gonna love it. And then none of us liked it, and it was humiliating. We did Dots recently, and the first half of the episode was us making fun of how bad Dots are. And then we all tried the Dots, and we had never tried like a fresh box of Dots, and it was pretty good. I think my favorite candy overall outside of Halloween is probably peanut M&Ms. I think that you just can't beat them. But also, if we're talking about actually good chocolate, I don't think you can beat Ghirardelli chocolate. I think it is so good. It's just not junky enough to want to eat every single day. I was afraid for a very long time to do M&Ms, but I was afraid because after the Butterfinger incident, I was like, well, what if I don't like M&Ms? Luckily, they did deliver. There are some things that I don't want to break the illusion.
We would love to know, what's your favorite candy? Leave a comment below and maybe we'll give it a shot.
New York Comic Con is the best event of the year. It's the thing I look forward to all year long. Everyone here all likes the same things and everybody's fun.
We were blown away by the unbelievable cosplay that flooded New York Comic Con. Everyone from Superman to Beetlejuice to Minions, and even Marge Simpson showed up to celebrate all things comics, pop culture, and entertainment.
It's estimated that more than 200,000 people, all ages, stopped by the event, where there were panels, goodies, and just a good time. These were some of our favorite looks. Are you going to go to the one next year? Are you going next year?
I'm not gonna go. I don't know who's in.
I'm gonna go.
There he is.
Oh my gosh.